Today's Fun in the Lawn video is about this ORTHO dial and spray, hose end sprayer. I've done videos on this earlier in use. Here's some of the characteristics of it. It connects up to a normal hose with a screw end on it here. It has an on-off trigger. It's not really a volume control, it's just an on-off valve there. Holds 32 ounces of chemical. There's 3 different nozzle settings in the front: a shower, a fan, and a jet kind of setting that you can just twist this and change that. It has a dial on the side which has 14 settings. These settings refer to how much either fluid ounces, tablespoons, or teaspoons that you would want mixed in per gallon as the water is flowing through the sprayer itself. I thought today I would show what it looks like on the inside. It's not that easy to take apart, but it's not too bad. Take the front screw off. That pops this dial, pops this fan selector, or I should say nozzle selector on the front. On the other end you got your input washer, you got a backflow preventer. It goes through a normal hose connect device up through this channel here. This is your on-off for your water flow. There's a spring in there and a valve. Water continues on, goes through here. It speeds up, so the channel gets kind of thinner, goes through here. So as it speeds up here, there's a low pressure that's built up that's called the Venturi effect, and based on the dial setting it will select a different hole size, and I'll show you one from the Chameleon. I'll take this ORTHO out in a second, but you'll see there's different holes that are very small based on the setting that you select there. These are listed in amount of fluid, either ounces, tablespoons, or teaspoons per gallon, and you can see down in there where that low pressure is right above what's called the metering hole, or above the pickup tube here, and that then was where the mixing occurs, comes out this orifice here, which lines up with your nozzle selector, either fan, jet, or in this case it would be the shower setting right here. So I'll take it apart a little bit further here and we'll see what else we can find. So I took the main piece out here, and now you can see where the on-off assembly disconnects from the, let's call it the mixing assembly. Okay, now I got the mixing assembly taken apart. You can see here's your O-ring that separates the dial from the pickup tube, and the pickup tube also is spring loaded with an O-ring, and that connects up with one of these metering holes. Being spring loaded here, you can pull this down while this is attached, and it will temporarily disconnect the particular metering hole from the tube itself. So if you have any kind of debris, it could be dislodged, but then again it's going to be floating around in here. So it's not really a permanent solution to just pop this loose for a second to just clear that jam. Now let's take a closer look at the metering holes themselves. So I got the dial removed from the Ortho dial and spray, and I was able to measure with my twist drills here what the sizes are for each of the holes. They're pretty small. I can kind of show you an example here. So the way that it works in the unit itself, where you're reading the number on the side, let's say 8 ounces, it actually, over the metering hole that's used, since 8 is the largest, it uses the largest metering hole. You can see that there. Turns out that's a 1.1 millimeter drill size. If I go down to, let's say, the 2 ounce setting, which would be equivalent to 6 ounces per 1,000 square feet, because I've already proven that these settings you multiply by 3, and that's how much you're going to get for ounces per 1,000 square feet. So a 2 ounce setting on the dial is equal to 6 ounce per 1,000 square feet. We look at the hole size for that. It turns out for the 2 ounce setting, it's 0.45 millimeters, a very, very small hole. And so that's where all of your material would have to go through that size hole if you use that setting. Obviously, you go even smaller, you're going to have even smaller hole settings. I mean, look at some of these down at the very far end here. They're really almost unusable. I just think you'd have a hard time keeping that level of debris out of the container. So even at this dial 2 setting, that's still a pretty small hole. Now let's compare that. I got the Chameleon, and get it to focus here. So if I look at the Chameleon dial, its 8 ounce setting uses a much larger hole size. Matter of fact, if I just look at the one that's used for the 2 ounce setting, let's see, it's this one right here. That turns out to be where it was 0.45 millimeters on the Ortho, it's 0.8, so almost twice as big of a hole on the Chameleon, which is all that's really showing is they're not identical designs. The rate of the fluid that flows through the different sprayers is going to determine how much vacuum is created, and they'll determine what hole size is used to meter different amount of chemical up from the jar. So it's just something to note. I'm not necessarily a big fan of either one of these. I'll be sharing some more information about some of the other sprayers and what their hole sizes are for the common kind of application rates that we use on the lawn. But I thought I'd share this information. Hope it's helpful.